it's me, Alex, the stay-at-home reader, and I want to talk about the Now That's What I Call Summer Readathon, hosted by Heather of Soggy, Expat, Booknerd, and Karen. Her channel is the Roving Reader. So it is a month-long readathon. Love that. Love that. If I want to participate in a readathon that's only like a 1 or 2 week, I end up taking the whole month anyway. So right off the bat, the fact that they made it from January 1st to January 31st makes it that much more doable for me. So I believe this was Heather put together this bingo board. Now That's What I Call Summer, very 90s theme. I will link Heather and Karen's videos announcing the readathon, and they have links to download this PDF file of the bingo board, and then there's also a blank one where you can kind of fill in what you're going to do. So let's go over the prompts for the readathon. The first one is Saturday morning cartoons. Watch cartoons and eat cereal in your jammies. So I don't like cereal. My husband eats cereal every morning. Not for me. I like oatmeal, which is like, I guess, hot cereal traditionally. So maybe I'll eat some oatmeal in bed and watch one of my favorite cartoons. It's on Disney Plus, and it was Gargoyles. And so actually I have here Gargoyles Awakening. This is the board game themed, obviously, after the show. And then, oh, I forgot to grab, I also have these comic books that pick off where the show ended. I think the last season of the show had the writer or creator was fired or something. So I don't remember if these pick off from where the show ended or where that writer left off. But these are comic books that, of the story. And so originally I was thinking I would do the Saturday morning cartoons prompt and lead into the Pass Me the Funnies prompt. This one, to read a comic or graphic novel. And so I was going to tie them all together. So I guess we're jumping around on the bingo board. I might do that. I was planning to... Isn't that beautiful? So this is the Labyrinth Coronation series. I have read the first two. I have not read this third one yet. There's volume 1. Labyrinth is kind of an obsession of mine. My first love, right there. Goblin King. Oh my gosh, I love it. And I believe this, just the cover art was done by Fiona Staples, who is the artist behind the Saga graphic novel series. So it's like this was made for me. Volume 2. And what this does, it's really pretty clever in that you get scenes that are directly from the movie, and then it kind of cuts away to Jareth telling stories to Toby, which is the baby in the movie that he's kidnapped from Sarah, and he's telling Toby the story of his own mother getting lost in the labyrinth. I really don't remember how the story goes, but visually it's stunning. I love it. Anything to do with the labyrinth, I'm sold. So that's my plan for Pass Me the Funnies. in addition to being a month-long readathon, it's also a mix of like book prompts and then like activities. So the MTV video mashup prompt is to build a 90s or 80s playlist and have a dance party. So I use Pandora over Spotify, because I feel like Pandora is good if, like, well, first of all, it's older. I don't know. It was the first thing I downloaded and I just stuck with it. So it's good for just like picking a genre. You set a station, press play, thumbs up, thumbs down, skip, whatever. Where Spotify, like if you know exactly what you want to listen to, you go to Spotify. So there is a 90s station that I like on Pandora. It's got a good mix of like the hip hop and the alternative and the pop, and it's just got it all. So it's a good nostalgia station. We're going to listen to that one. Too cool for school. Read a book about cool teens. I'm going to go with this. I'm nervous about this one. I have seen people love it. I have seen people hate it. I'm aware it's probably going to be pretty problematic and dated. I mean, so it's The Duff, which is the designated ugly fat friend. I'm really intrigued to see where it goes. I remember seeing trailers for the movie. I never watched the movie. I think, yeah, this is the movie tie-in cover, which I don't love. We'll see how it goes. I may not end up finishing this. Endless Summer. Read a book that takes place in summer. So, 2 books. First of all is one I started already. Without a Backward Glance. This was actually on my Sad Christmas TBR. But it is set in Australia. So, Christmas in Australia is the summer. So it opens on Christmas and then it goes like 40 years in the future. And I think they're still in the summer season. Yeah, because so in this story, a mom walks out on her kids on Christmas Eve. And that's it. That's the last they hear from her. 40 years later, their father is starting to show signs of dementia and Alzheimer's. And so he's obsessed with getting out to prune roses, and he's late in getting to them. And so he's worried that the bushes aren't going to be doing well. And when he goes out, he sees that it's already been done. And his granddaughter is telling him like, yeah, we did that months ago in July. So July, I believe, would have been winter, which means they're back in summer. So this book is okay so far. It's not great, but it was the first book I started for the new year, and I really didn't want it to be a DNF. I haven't read it in a couple days now. It's just okay. I mean, there's nothing bad about it. I got it at a library bag sale, so like got it blind, just paper bag full of books for $5. And I took it off, but it had a sticker here that it was from Christmas Tree Shop, and usually that means, well, and also, which means it's like overstock. This book probably wasn't a big seller, and it got sent to the discount stores. And that's what it feels like. That's what it reads like. So that's my book set in summer. Or I have this, which is The Watcher by James Howe. And this is a book I remember reading in the 90s. So, and look, it's a troll book, which means it was probably at like one of those book fairs, right? Like, I remember this being popular in the 90s. 1997 it came out. 1997. And this takes place in summer at like a beach house. I don't remember a lot of it. I remember there being a young girl who doesn't talk, and she kind of just watches people. Watcher, there you go, and makes up stories in her head and kind of lives in this fantasy world that kind of mirrors Beauty and the Beast. This is all from my memory. I could be totally off. And I believe her father is abusive towards her mother, and that kind of plays into why she's doesn't speak and kind of just lurks around and just watches things because she's just trying to stay out of the way. I remember, but I know it takes place in the summer because they're at the beach. Even though I go to the beach in the winter. I prefer the beach in winter, less people. But yeah, that's that. Undercover reading. Read a mystery featuring a puzzle or hidden object. So I am currently listening to the Mysterious Benedict Society with my kids. We started that last month, but we're still only like almost halfway through. It's a very slow audiobook. You can only listen to so much of it too because the kids are enjoying the story, but they're also confused. So we're taking our time with it. So that one applies to this prompt. I also had a book called The Secret. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. The Book of Secrets, which I got at a Dollar Tree. So just like this one, I don't expect this one to be that great. It's got the, you know, yeah, it went to the dollar stores because it wasn't selling great. But it's about a woman whose husband disappears and she finds a note from him in a book. She stumbles upon a notebook. Oh, a notebook tucked inside his antique copy of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It's written in code. The pages contain long-buried secrets from their past and clues to why he went home after all these years. And so it names a bunch of other books too, like these secrets are kind of revealed as like connections to other books that he's read or like through their history. I don't know. But the husband's name is Nate. My husband's name is Nate. And books play part in the story. So like when I saw this at the dollar store, that was a no-brainer. And yet that was years ago and I haven't picked it up. So maybe that one will go for this prompt. My Nate, after reading The Stranger by Harlan Coben, read Runaway by Harlan Coben. And he said this one was also just as good. He read this one also, again, in like 2 days. And they're chunky books, but they're like the mass market and they're thrillers and they're just like those page turnery books. They're quick reads. And when I was telling him I'd be interested in reading this one, and then I was telling him about this readathon, and I said I need something. Well, I asked him if it takes place in the summer, and he was like, meh. He didn't really know. And then I mentioned needing something with a puzzle or a secret, and he said, oh yeah, definitely this one. Like, and he kind of like got stuck on the word puzzle. He's like, oh yeah, there's a mystery. There's definitely puzzles. Like you got to solve something. I'm like, oh, okay then. So I may pick this up because I loved reading The Stranger after he read it and him asking how far I was and me texting him while he's at work, like, oh my gosh, like this just happened. And then we got to chat on their ride up to New Hampshire. The kids got iPods for Christmas, so they had their headphones on. And so the two of us in the front seat could have our little book chat. It was lovely. So I'm thinking this will be the one that goes for that prompt. Snail mail is to mail a postcard to a pen pal. When I took the kids to the New York Aquarium back in December, I picked up a postcard to have on hand for this prompt. So at some point I'll get that in the mail. Clubhouse, build a fort and read in it. We're getting snow tomorrow, which means snowy reading day. I mean, what else is snow for, right? I'm sure my kids are going to want to like throw snowballs and go sledding or something. Hot chocolate and books, right? So I told the kids we're going to have a snow day. We'll probably build a fort in the living room and do some reading. So hopefully that gets done tomorrow. It'll be my first check on the bingo board. And then the last one I skipped was school book fair, is read a book you wanted to read as a kid but never got to. And I don't really know. I read a lot as a kid. If I didn't read it, I probably didn't want to read it. I don't know. I did see in front of my house, I have a little free library. I'm going to post a clip yesterday. No, it wasn't yesterday. It was a few days ago at this point. It's already been a week this week. First week of the year has already thrown me for a loop. Anyway, a few days ago, I was checking if I needed to refill the little library in front of our house. And I noticed that while we were in New Hampshire, someone added books to it. And there were some Fear Street books put in there. And I didn't read those as a kid. Because I remember seeing them in like grammar school and thinking I was too young for it. Like I was very good at setting limits for myself. Or like I saw them and like I wanted them. But they seemed kind of naughty because they were for older kids. Like we were still supposed to be reading Goosebumps. The Fear Street was for the older kids, but like I still wanted them. So I may go borrow one of those from the little free library in front of my house and give that a quick read for this prompt. But the other thing is, there are so many books as an adult I want to read and don't have time for, that I'm least excited about reading that. So if I'm going to skip a prompt, it's going to be that one. Sorry, Karen and Heather, but that's the truth. Okay, so I just want to share, while we were away for New Year's, looks like someone filled up the little free library in front of our house. Noisy street, it's always busy. Anyway, so I was taking a look, and look at some of the things that were added. We've got Fear Street. Ooh, another Fear Street. Some Goosebumps. Oh, I remember this one. Ooh, I'm gonna bring that in for Owen. I remember that one. Oops. And look at this one. Oh, another one of the same. Like, if this doesn't have 90s read along, now that's what I call summer readathon, like written all over it. My goodness. I might have to borrow one of these for like the book I wanted to read as a kid but never got to. Like, I wanted to read these, but I was too young. I felt like it would be naughty or something. I don't know. And then like the cool teens prompt. Hello, how cool. I remember watching the show. I don't know if I read any of the books. I must have. But I remember watching the show. Oh my gosh. And check out that cover. How cool.